up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of service on my Duramax diesel. If you're not familiar with this truck, I've got another video on it you guys can watch, but it is a 04.5 LLY Duramax, and today I'm going to do some maintenance on it. We're going to do a fuel filter. So on these trucks, the fuel filter, you got to remove the inner wheel well lining, and then you have really good access to it after that, right up in here in the engine bay. So basically what I've done already is taken out, there's like 10 or so wheel liner clips in there that you got to remove, and then the liner comes right out. I've got one left here. I'll show you guys. That's it right there. Just pop the center up and the whole clip pops out, and you can actually remove all the inside of this wheel well. Got a panel popping tool, makes it a lot easier without damaging the clips, so you can reuse them to put it back in. After all the clips are out, you can just go ahead and slide your wheel well liner right out. Set it to the side. Alright, now you can see how easy it is to access the fuel filter. That's it right there. Got a few parts you got to unhook from it. There's a sensor lead right off the bottom there that has to be unplugged, and then you have to actually unscrew your water sensor plug right there on the bottom and screw it back into your new filter. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Be careful you don't cut into any of the harness or anything back there. Should only take a few turns to loosen, and then you can take it out by hand. Probably put a rag down or something to catch any fuel that drops out. Shouldn't lose much though. But the filter will be full of diesel fuel, so be careful when you're taking it out. You don't spill it all over the exhaust or whatnot. As you can see, you do have to make sure that that seal right there is in your fuel filter. Don't leave it up on the actual housing. Double gasket your filter for next time, so just pay attention to make sure that O-ring right there is still in the filter. So we're going to go ahead and remove the water sensor now. Alright, now we're going to open the new filter up, and it's going to take a new O-ring around the top to seal it, which should come with your new filter. There should be a new O-ring for the water sensor, and an O-ring for the top of the fuel filter. First we're going to replace the sensor. Exchange your O-ring. Sure it's seated. float works. And then that'll just screw right back into the new filter housing. Alright, and then give your water sensor torquing, not too much. Snug it up. Alright, so we got our new O-ring seated in the top of the filter. New seal on the inside there. Water sensors in. So at this point we'll go ahead and screw it back up in there. Very important to make sure that O-ring gets seated and stays in its groove as you're tightening. If that pops out, you're going to have a fuel leak, and you don't want that. Give it a few turns to tighten it. Should be tight enough. And you just plug your sensor back in. Alright, after that you're done down here. We got to put the wheel well back in. But you don't want to do that until after you start it and visually inspect that it's not leaking, because you definitely don't want leaks down here by the exhaust system with fuel. It's definitely not safe. So we're going to go ahead and go up top and start the bleeding procedure. Alright, now that we're up top, you can see that right here is the bleeding screw, which I replaced mine with a billet aluminum piece instead of the factory plastic one that they put in it, which strips out. You want to get yourself a nice bleeder screw that doesn't strip. This one's a PPE. You can see. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we're going to break this screw loose, releasing any air that's trapped in here, and then we're going to pump our bleeding pump up here on the top of the housing, and that's going to pump all the fuel from the line back up and fill the filter with fuel. And then you're going to release your air again out of the bleeder screw, and do that 3 times until you just, every time you crack this bleeder screw open, you'll get either air or fuel. So you got to keep working it until you get straight fuel coming out of the top of your bleeder screw. Usually takes me about 3 times of roughly 10 to 12 pumps per bleeding crack. So we'll go ahead and get that done now. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do a test start on it and make sure that there's no fuel leaks. So we'll go ahead and get that done. And hopefully the fuel pressure is adequate to start it right now. You'll know if you didn't get all the air out of it because it won't start, or it'll have a hard time starting. So yeah, you definitely want to come over and visually inspect. Make sure that you don't see any fuel dripping or leaking. Which looks like we're good to go, so we'll go ahead and get it all buttoned back up. Also make sure that you don't have any leaks up top. It looks like we're good to go. So that's it, pretty much. I just got to put the wheel liner back in, and we just did a fuel filter change. Pretty basic stuff, unless you haven't done it before. But I hope this video helps you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe to see more if you're new to the channel, and let me know how I'm doing. Greatly appreciate it. Peace, guys.